Hello guys, it's Ivan here checking in, and as always, first things first, hope you guys are wicked. Second, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the last installment of Charisma. Which is basically warmth. Now, at the very basic level, the awesome, amazing, but yet very brutal thing about about warmth, is almost all of it is experienced through body language. Now, I call this brilliant and awesome because if you nail down presence, which is the core, and power, you're by definition congruent with what you're saying. You are what you're saying and you mean it, and you're present in that moment. You're listening to the other person. Warmth will come effortlessly. The charismatics know this because they don't have to try for warmth. You understand? Which is why, in the video about presence that I did, the very first one, about I think 3 days ago. So I talked about this example that Olivia Fox-Cabane gives, right, about Bill Clinton, people who hated him, who hated that guy. They're like, I hated him before I met him, I hated him after I met him, but when I met him, when in that process of actually meeting him, I loved the guy. Why? He was present, and because he was present and he owned his power, the warmth part of the equation just came naturally. The body language was congruent to what he was saying. So that's the awesome, amazing thing. But the very brutal aspect of that is you cannot bloody fake it. Sad, right? Anyway, because why can't you fake it? Obviously because there's just way too many body language to think about. Think about if imagine if you having it out with someone, you're burning the house down with someone, the conversation is heated up and you're both interested, right? In that moment, ton of things happen, very subtle things that show that you guys are interested in each other. The very warmth signals happen on a very subtle unconscious level that you cannot control, that you cannot consciously control all of them, or consciously control the body language, the muscles that cause this body language. Whether that be the dilating of the muscles, or you unconsciously moving closer when the other person's talking, the genuine smiles when, the other person cracks a joke, when you smile with not just your lips, but also your eyes. All of these things, you cannot fake them. And, you may be able to fake them, but it's the timing. Because it's one thing to be able to fake or to change to dilate your pupils. But the timing is very crucial, because when you do it at a later time or a little earlier, then it's off the timing, right? The timing's off. So yeah, that's why it's very hard to fake, which probably explains these two phenomena. One, back in the days, before method acting, obviously, the actors, even the very best actors, were very, very exhausted at the end of the scene, because when they were told to do scenes at the end of the day, when they're told to do scenes, like for example, pretend you're angry, pretend you're in love or whatever, they had to tackle the problem outside in, right? They tried to depict as much of the body language that the character demands of them, which is very exhausting on a mental and physical level. Whereas which is why, thanks to Hollywood or whomever came up with method acting, that way you're tackling the problem inside out, right? Once you nail down the emotion, then the body language will just come naturally like that, which is the whole point of method acting. If they tell you to be drunk, or be pissed, or whatever the script is asking of the character, be it, and the body language will be very congruent, and the whole picture will just seem flawless like that. You're tackling it outside in, right? And the other one, also because of the very hard body language to control, especially around the eyes, which are like dead giveaways. That would explain why professional poker players wear sunglasses, right? Because they don't want to sell out, because they know the eyes are dead giveaways. Why? Because again, like for the presence as well, the eyes are like they give away the subtle micro expressions which is how someone may know that, you know, you're stuck in your head and you're not listening to them regardless of being in their present right there and then. And obviously because you're talking to them about them and probably thinking about them, they will think, oh my god, they don't like me or something along those lines. Now, I'm mentioning this because regardless of the fact that we cannot control the fact that we will make these assumptions, we cannot control ourselves from making these assumptions, or we cannot stop them. But what we can do is change the reality, change the way we perceive them or the sense that we make of them. And a good example of this is, imagine you're driving to work, right? You're in your car, you have a massive presentation to make, and you're in your car hyping yourself up. I'm gonna slate. I do those charts, I do those cartoons, right? They really look dope. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, this guy comes out of nowhere and, nearly runs you off the road. You hit the brakes really hard, right? And they keep on wagging from lane to lane, and then till they're off the road, right? Sorry, till they're off the highway, and then they branch to somewhere. Now, you can be pissed in that moment when you feel the adrenaline. You're like, that jerk, that idiot, that, cunt, or whatever you choose to call them. You can call them that and you can be pissed all you want. But if someone came back and told you that that was actually a mother trying to do the best she can to get to the quickest hospital, while trying to keep the child in the back seat awake or conscious, or to keep them from choking, right? So they get to the hospital before the kid dies. All of a sudden, when you think about it in that reality, they're not that idiot, that jerk, that cunt anymore, right? All of a sudden, like, oh my god, I really wish the kid gets better or doesn't die or something like this. So the whole point of this is basically, our brains obviously sometimes, or almost always, they cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. So when you just imagine change the way the reality, basically imagine it being the mother, your brain will feel the empathic reaction, at least for most of us, it will feel the empathic reaction, and you will justify that and let it go. Hence, when you get to do your presentation, you'll be free and more relaxed and be able to slate, as opposed to if you're stuck on that rage. It's like, that jerk, I really want to beat his ass, or whatever it might be that whatever crazy shit you're thinking of. Just change your reality, change the way you think, regardless of whether you will know or you won't know, whichever they are. Just change your reality and everything will change. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, drop a like and subscribe for more awesome things. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Au revoir. I pronounced that terribly.